Now on CoastTV News.
Another water advisory.
If the germs are going to harm them, then that's pretty dumb if you're going in.
What DNREC found in Bethany Beach water and who's most at risk.
Money to dredge, a long-awaited project, will clear the Lewis-Rehoboth Canal. How shallow waters put boaters at risk.
Waves of joy.
Behind me is absolute magic.
A day of surf and smiles in Ocean City. How children with autism are catching waves and building confidence.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Advisory in Bethany Beach. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight with more bacteria bugging beachgoers in Delaware.
Today in Bethany, it was hard to find a spot on the sand, but in the water is where DNREC found increased levels of bacteria, causing another swimming advisory to be issued in Sussex County. CoastTV News reporter Brandon Ferguson shows us how people planned around the advisory.
Walking to the beach, getting into the water, but at your own risk after DNREC found fecal indicator bacteria in Bethany.
I was worried about the riptide more than I was about the bacteria.
DNREC says Monday's sample found a 400% increase of the bacteria. Ellen Smith is visiting the coast, and an advisory was not stopping her from enjoying the water.
Might be rolling the dice, but at least we get to enjoy this day. You only get a finite amount of time for vacation, so it was either the pool or this, and I feel like they both have bacteria.
This is only an advisory, and you are still allowed to go in the water, but people with weakened immune systems are at a higher risk of getting sick from water contact. Elliot and John Bucky are visiting Bethany Beach and say people should decide what's best for them.
If the germs are going to harm them, then that's pretty dumb if you're going in.
DNREC says today's advisory ended at 4:30, and because of how quickly the conditions change here in Bethany Beach, DNREC says they just need to take a sample of the water before fully lifting the swimming advisory. In Bethany Beach, Brandon Ferguson, CoastTV News.
This is just the latest in the string of beach advisories across Sussex County this summer. Elevated levels of bacteria caused advisories in Rehoboth, Lewis, Deauville Beach, and Cape Henlopen State Park earlier this summer. DNREC says these spikes often follow after heavy rain. That's when storm water carries fecal bacteria from wildlife and other sources through that stormwater drain into the ocean. And while most beachgoers won't get sick, specifically groups like young children and older adults with those not as strong immune systems could find themselves at a greater risk.
The Lewis-Rehoboth Canal is a waterway for commercial and recreational boating and even research vessels. Soon it's going to be home to the next dredging project on the coast. The Army Corps of Engineers has just granted $9.6 million to dredge the canal from Freeman Highway Bridge south to its entrance at the Rehoboth Bay. The project will remove about 90,000 cubic yards of sediment from the canal. That's according to the Army Corps. Fisherman's Wharf owner H.D. Parsons says the shallowness poses a threat.
Right now the safety isn't there because of the depth of water. Somebody thinks they're in good shape and they speed the boat up. Next thing you know, they hit the bottom and people get hurt.
Right now work is scheduled to begin October 26th, but it could start as early as this October.
A new law creating a state-level Department of Veterans Affairs in Delaware was signed today by the governor. House Bill 1 establishes the department, which will be led by a cabinet-level secretary. It aims to make it easier for Delaware's more than 75,000 veterans to access their benefits. Lawmakers say it will give veterans a stronger voice.
The veterans need this. We have so many veterans don't understand what their services are, what they're entitled to, what the VA benefits are, lots of things. And we need a leader to be at the forefront of all this for us.
Governor Meyer says a secretary has not yet been chosen to lead this new department. For now, the Department of Veterans Affairs will operate within the Delaware Department of State. A long-term plan will transition it to a standalone agency by July 1st, 2030.
And Governor Meyer has signed a series of bills aimed at combating property reassessment. The bills passed an after-hours-long special session on Tuesday. According to Governor Meyer, the legislation creates fairer tax rates, give homeowners flexible payment plans, and even provides refunds to people who overpaid. Lawmakers say the changes will also keep school funding intact. However, at a press conference, Republican leaders expressed concern over what they call a rushed process with rules suspended to introduce and vote on the bills in the same day. This brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, do you think legislation passed on property reassessment helps enough?
Let's take a look at the updated results from the last news hour. And 60% right now say yes, 40% say no.
And we have a comment here from Ken who writes, to some, there is never enough help, but the legislation signed by the governor is definitely fair and equitable for everyone. If you haven't voted yet, you can do that at coasttv.com or use our mobile app, and we'll show you updated results on Coast TV News at 11.
Let's go ahead and take a live look outside into Lewis. A beautiful evening out there. Our first alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobuono is in for Paul tonight and has a look at our forecast. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Manny and Charlie. I tell you what, it was a cool start to the month. We were well below average for the first 11 days, just a degree above average yesterday, and we were above average today with a high of 90 degrees. Right now, still seeing some heat indices in the lower to mid 90s. We're seeing cloud cover roll in. We had a few showers try to break out along the coast. Those have since pushed to the northeast. A heavier shower just north of Dover, and this shower activity that we were tracking in the last half hour has weakened considerably, but seeing some light to moderate rain to the south of Cambridge. Can't rule out some scattered showers and even a rumble of thunder through the evening as this trough pushes through. Cold front back off to the west will affect us tomorrow. You see the marginal risk of isolated severe storms, primarily eastern shore on northward, but we are going to be quite muggy this evening, falling only into the lower 70s with, again, a few spotty showers and downpours. Some fog develops. We'll talk about more storms tomorrow afternoon in that full 7-day forecast here in a little bit. Maddie.
Chris, thank you. 1 year ago today, Sussex County lost a hero. Thomas Berry III was killed while responding to a car crash in Georgetown. While Berry was helping the driver in the crash, a utility pole snapped and brought down electrical wires onto Berry. Berry was a member of both the Georgetown and Ellendale fire companies, as well as a logistics tech with Sussex County EMS. Today, a new memorial was unveiled in front of the Sussex County Emergency Operations Center for Berry, who many say was one of the most dedicated responders.
He just, everything, he breathed the fire service, he breathed the EMS, he breathed the public service. That's who he was. It was who his family was, or is.
Over the past year, plenty of tributes have been put up for Thomas Berry across Sussex County. We also stopped by Georgetown Fire Company. They have a memorial outside and on his old hook.
4 new condo buildings could be on the way to Ocean City. You're looking at the Ocean block of 142nd Street, right next to the Taylor Bank. That's where the OC Council just gave the green light to an uptown condominium project. It's called Atlantic Edge. Officials say each building will be 3 stories with an attic and have 3 or 4 bedroom condos.
DelDOT wants to build a roundabout at the intersection of Gravel Hill Road and Sand Hill Road. Happening now, DelDOT hosting a workshop that began at 4 p.m. and goes until 7 at Milton Elementary. Now, if you can't make it there, DelDOT says you can give digital comments on a roundabout here through September 19th.
A push to ban pot in Greenwood. Town officials will hold a first reading of an ordinance on regulating the drug. The council says it wants to ban both businesses that sell and manufacture marijuana. People will have a chance to provide input on the proposal, which will need a second reading before it can be finalized. The Greenwood Town Council meeting is tonight at 6:30.
Many towns have banned marijuana. Frankfort and Georgetown, they allow it. You might recall we just did a story about a new dispensary on 113. But other dispensaries are already up in Sussex County and Lewis Rehoboth. Those are dispensaries, but important to note, on highways in the county property, not within any city limits. We do have a whole list of regulations and where marijuana is bound across Delmarva. Head to coasttv.com and search Weed Watch. Rehoboth police are telling local businesses to look out for fake $100 bills after a restaurant owner reported finding several of those behind his business. Police say they didn't receive an official complaint this summer about counterfeit bills, but do report any attempts.
Delaware State Police arrested 2 people last night on gun charges following a traffic stop in Bridgeville. Troopers say they saw a black Dodge Charger failed to properly stop at a stop sign at Coverdale Road and Hastings Farm Road. The trooper stopped the car and discovered that there were 2 concealed and loaded handguns on the floor of the back seat.
We have a lot more news to get to this evening.
Some new names for the Shorebirds, a look at the new roster.
And some of us may be dodging a few showers and storms this evening. A better chance of more widespread showers tomorrow afternoon, and the weekend right now looking pretty good. We'll talk more about that, as well as look at the tropics here in a little bit.
But first, riding the waves, how this one-day surf camp is helping people with autism, when we're back in just 60 seconds.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
Making waves and making memories. People gathered on the beach behind 37th Street in Ocean City to watch people with autism learn to surf.
Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zapay shows us how this program is changing lives year after year.
Wow, what another great ride in. Fantastic. Kids on fire.
Riding the waves. In Ocean City, hundreds of people gathered for the 28th annual Surfers Healing event. A one-day surf camp for children with autism.
I'm grateful for what's going on behind me. Behind me is absolute magic. It's just so rad. These guys are ripping on waves with kids.
Izzy Paskowitz is the co-founder of Surfers Healing and remembers his first time going surfing with his son Isaiah, who was born with autism.
I saw the change in his behavior. The water had real, I'll say therapeutic properties to it.
After seeing his son's reaction, he knew his life mission was to have other people with autism have that same feeling. This is Shavon and her son, Jalen Martinez, and this is Jalen's second year riding waves. Something they look forward to every year.
Pretty much all a brand new experience for him. And like I said, he totally enjoyed the waves and the water and all the volunteers.
What started in 1996 has now grown to impact so many lives. And that couldn't be possible without all the professional surfers, the sponsors in the area, and families making sure their child gets an experience of a lifetime for free.
If you guys ever have the opportunity for your children, come on out, register them. I mean, the sky's the limit.
I love seeing a community come together to support, the less fortunate.
According to Paskowitz, over 250 people with autism rode some waves today. And Surfers Healing next stop is in Virginia, where they expect over 450 participants. I'm Kevin Zapay in Ocean City, Coast TV News.
Well, if you're thinking about hitting the courses, maybe do it in the morning, expecting a scattered showers and storms to develop after about 3 o'clock tomorrow. Another warm and humid day with highs near 90. We'll talk about more storm chances and a dry weekend ahead in that full 7-day forecast. Well, the heat and humidity came rolling back today. We now have mostly cloudy skies here in Lewis. Temperatures still holding in the mid-80s, dew points mid to upper 70s, so we're back in that very uncomfortable range. And it's going to be a very warm evening and muggy at that, with a few spotty showers and storms throughout the peninsula. We're at 80 Rehoboth, 81 Bethany, 83 Gumboro, 82 in Laurel. Well, we had 2 points in the 50s and 60s earlier this week. Well, not anymore. We're in the mid to upper 70s, so a lot of moisture in the atmosphere for some of these storms to tap into. Heaviest rain right now has been primarily from Dover on northward through Philly along the I-95 corridor. These storms we've been tracking and showers across the bay weakening, but you've seen a few spotty showers and downpours moving through Mardella Springs as well as portions of the eastern shore. It's all thanks to this trough that's kind of sliding to the southeast, and all this moisture is going to be pushing off to the east, but expecting the heaviest moisture to stay off to the north. A few scattered showers all ahead of this cold front. That front is going to be pushing through our area tomorrow. So marginal risk of some excessive rainfall, primarily for a flash flooding threat. This evening, not all that great. Tomorrow, we have that marginal risk to slight further south you go in the Delmarva Peninsula. So Futurecast shows a few scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder through the evening. Not all that impressed with the coverage of rain this evening. Again, a few downpours possible through Chickateague in the overnight, and then we wake up muggy, some areas of fog tomorrow morning. So we're at 70 to 75 tonight. Showers early, otherwise partly cloudy skies through the early part of your Thursday, partly sunny skies, another warm a day near 90 with scattered showers and storms developing after about 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. We're at 84 Rehoboth, 87 Lewis for your Thursday. Low risk of rip currents, 87 in Ocean City. Heat indices tomorrow away from the coast feeling like 95 to near 100 in some areas, 96 Berlin to 94 in Selbyville. And then we'll see more of an easterly flow kick in Friday as some drier air works in. So we're dry through about noon tomorrow. As we go into the afternoon, notice a few of those thunderstorms beginning to bubble up. Not expecting anything severe, but could see some locally heavy rainfall where these storms do in fact develop. You see some heavier cells developing right along Highway 24 there between Seaford and Millsboro. And then that threat will kind of wane as we go into about 9-10 o'clock tomorrow. We are looking at drier air moving in for the weekend briefly, and then we'll see that humidity kick right back in Sunday through Monday. Tropical storm Aaron looking a bit more healthier at this hour, continuing to track to the west, expected to be a Category 1 hurricane by Friday, and then potentially a major hurricane by the tail end of the weekend. Good news is not threatening any landmass. Supposed to stay east of the Bahamas and the Caribbean, but then it pushes to the north. It will likely produce some dangerous swells and rip currents late next week for us here on Delmarva. We're at 90 on Monday, and then temperatures right around 89 on Tuesday.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good evening, folks. It's time for sports. I'm Darren Wallace joining you on this lovely Wednesday evening. Here's everything you need to know going on with your local teams. Starting on the baseball diamond, it was debut day for the Delmarva Shorebirds Tuesday night in Lynchburg as 6 players in the lineup made their first professional starts, and without a doubt, they showed some promise. Ike Irish, Caden Bodine, Vahiva Aloy, RJ Austin, Colin Yeaman, and Braden Smith all reached base safely against the Hillcats. Aloy, Bodine, and Smith each had multi-hit games, with Smith picking up a couple RBIs in the contest. The Shorebirds would get walked off in the bottom of the ninth, though, in a 7-5 loss. They went into the bottom of the ninth inning with a 5-4 lead. And we've got a good one for you later on DSN. Ian Nicholas goes inside the huddle at Indian River Camp. The reigning Delaware 1A champions are moving up to Class 2A, but the goal is the same. They want to add even more hardware to the trophy case. Catch the full story from practice tonight on The Final Score. That's all the time we have now for sports. Thanks for watching, and have a good night, everybody.
Lots of big checks were handed out today at the Lewis Fire Department, beneficiaries of the 4th annual Rally for Our First Responders. They saw the impact of community donations and support. Our friends at Coast Life, hey, I know them, they spoke with the rally president and founder Kyle Schaefer about how the funds could be used.
We select nonprofit beneficiaries, and they're all first responders, and they have all their different causes on where they need to put the money. Yes. So different fire departments need fire trucks, they need equipment every single day, they need training. So it's really up to them, but it all goes to a very, very good cause.
Schaefer says if you don't have money to donate, you can still help by volunteering.
Well, we have a warm and muggy night ahead of us. Temperatures not even falling below 70 tonight. We have a few spotty showers and even a rumble of thunder developing late this evening through the overnight, and also some patchy fog likely to develop early Thursday morning. Our winner, Michael Volpe of Millsboro, Delaware, the winner of our Paul Davis umbrella. You get your forecast anytime by dialing the First Alert Weather phone. And your 10-day forecast shows another chance of scattered showers and storms for our Thursday, right around 90 degrees. We do dry things out. Can't rule out an isolated shower along the eastern shore Friday, but the weekend right now looking fantastic. Mid to upper 80s with sunny skies, and then we're right back up to 90. And then we see temperatures drop a little bit towards the tail end of that 10-day.
All right, thank you, Chris, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.